I would say, first of all, take your time. That it's going to take time to come up with a real consensus definition of what great leadership is like. Look broadly. Don't just look to one example. Look to multiple examples. Challenge yourself. Try and tease out where there are conflicts between, for example, different leadership standards. And truly consult broadly. That make sure there's the real voice of your teachers, of your principals, of your assistant principals, to make sure they have the chance to grapple with all of these different elements. And then in doing so, be willing to make very difficult decisions around not just what are all the elements, because you'll come up with 50, but what are the most important elements. And if you come up with more than 4 or 5, you've come up with too many. And as painful as those final cuts are, again, the voice of your community, your school community, and your broader community will be important. But ultimately choose what the most important levers for change are to move our schools forward.
I think in order to be a really good leader, you need to have credibility. So I think really spending a lot of energy, as any leader would, on finding out who your best classroom instructional people are and really investing in them. Extra professional development, extra opportunities to be in leadership roles, having a teacher leader in every school around every different curriculum area. So they start practicing how to talk to others. I think one of the most needed skills among leaders is communication, both writing and speaking, and giving teachers an opportunity to speak more to their colleagues. So I do think, looking for the best teachers. And then if you have assistant principals, and I've said this over and over again in New York City, don't pick assistant principals who are going to do your paperwork. The rule of thumb for picking an assistant principal who can do your job ultimately. If you're not building succession in your own building, you're missing out on a great opportunity.
So one of the things I think I've learned in our design and continued redesign of our 5-year induction program is how few districts across the country are really thinking in an intentional way about the development of their new principals as they come into this incredibly important role. And so it strikes me that given the number of requests I've had from districts to come and talk about what we've done, that this is a clear opportunity for districts to really begin thinking about if you're going to invest in your selection process and your recruitment process, then you certainly need to make a comparable investment in how you nurture people as they enter this most important leadership role.
There are a couple first steps that are really, really important. One is to make sure that you identify those parts of the structure that are important. So as an example, you want to create a pool of people that are going to be in the program, and they're going to be the ones that are going to benefit from it, so that your school system can benefit from what they learn. Then you want to identify those points, and I think that what's important for them is to create a team around your assistant principal folks that are in the induction program. Make sure that they have different viewpoints. So having their principal a part of that, I think, is important. Having somebody from central office in senior leadership, either senior level or executive level leadership in that program. Some sort of coach, whether that's an executive coach or whether that's a retired principal who's done that kind of work. And it needs to be focused. It's not enough just to have a monthly or a quarterly meeting. You have to have some focused work. So what are you really trying to achieve?
I always thought that the principal supervisor should go to the school knowing a lot about that school. But you get the principal to tell you about it. For example, if you look at the data and their math scores in the ditch, just ask, how's your math doing? If the principal indicates that, well, we have some challenges there, then you pretty well know that then the focus needs to be on, well, how can we help you? How can we help the teachers build a capacity to really teach math in a way that's going to help the students achieve the level that they need to. But if the answer is, well, we're doing great, well, then you have a different conversation that you need to work. So that role really has to be a role that really, you're the liaison that aligns what the district is about with what the school is doing. And they should be the same thing. You just have to make sure that alignment is taking place, and your principal supervisor is key to that role.
Our hiring practices are more effective from clear to the beginning to the end, from the preparation to the decision making. If you think about where we're at now with our principal pipeline, there is so much preparation that goes into ensuring that we're setting our future leaders up for success. It's all about the rigorous screening process, the professional development that they go through, the year-long Future Leaders Academy, the assistant principal induction program that provides them more rigor. All those processes now that are in place are only setting our future leaders up for success. And that's really the bottom line. When we have better prepared individuals and better prepared future leaders, then when those leaders arrive at the principalship, they're going to be highly effective and they're going to be doing great things for kids and great things for their schools.
It's not a 1-year effort. That's not a 2-year effort, right? This is a 10, 12, 15-year effort to take someone from where they wish to be a school leader to where they truly are a very effective leader of an organization as large and complex, as challenging, as rewarding as a school.